The dark side of hypnosis. Okay, we don't mean that in a serious way,
No.
but let's talk about the dark side of hypnosis, Brian and Steve and their story Unveiled. What the heck are we talking about here, Mike?
We have to go back, Chris, quite literally to 1969 for this.
Okay.
Because I was experimenting with hypnosis, had been for 3 years
You were
at that
a kid.
point. I was a kid. Well, I was a teenager. And we were all teenagers. We'd go to school, walk to school together, walk home together. Three of us, me, Brian, and Steve. Brian, who you've met.
Right.
And anyway, we'd be coming home from school. And what was interesting was I would start to get them angry with each other. And I'd say things like, he's disrespecting you. Don't you think so? And he'd go, yeah, I guess he is a little. And he'd say, I'm not disrespecting him. And I'd say, he's denying it now, like this. And he'd say, Brian, can't you see he's trying to cause a problem between us? And Brian would say, well, all I can see is you're starting to piss me off. And this would continue. I'd throw in little things. And I'd say, you're going to take that from him? You're going to take that from him? He's supposed to be your friend. No, I'm not going to take it. And Steve would actually say at one point, can't you see? We don't have a problem. It's him. It's him. Brian said, all I can see is you're pissing me off.
And what would happen?
They'd wind up wrestling on somebody's lawn, get all dirty and everything. I'd step out of the frame and watch. And the next day, provided we went home the same route again, it would start to fire automatically.
Like an anchor.
Just an anchor. So it just embedded commands like, don't you think that he's making you angry? I'd throw in embedded commands. And, are you really going to take the fact that he's dissing you? This kind of stuff over and over and over. And eventually it'd be like a boil would pop. The rage would come out. I'd step out of the frame and it would be turned on each other. I was a weird kid. I admit it.
No one was hurt. Actually friends.
No animals were harmed in the making of this video.
They wrestled. There was no bloody noses. There was really just dirty clothes and a lot of laughing.
And spewed school books everywhere. Yeah.
So that is the so-called dark side of hypnosis. Now, we call it that because there's a lot of people out there who seem to think hypnosis is some kind of weird mind control. Now, first of all, you were a teenager. You had not been formally trained in any hypnosis.
No.
You hadn't even discovered Milton Erickson yet.
No.
You just accidentally discovered some of the same ideas.
Yeah, it was when I discovered Erickson later. I thought this is stuff I'm doing. Yeah. Seating suggestions.
So we go back in time, and there are people out there who make it seem like hypnosis is this weird mind control. It isn't, but you can use language and body language and gestures and anchoring and all kinds of fun things to help people, or in this case, annoy your friends and cause them to wrestle.
Help or hinder.
But it is not mind control, and we definitely do not.
We don't subscribe to that.
It's just nonsense.
Hypnosis is extremely powerful communication, and we can use that in a number of different ways, and we're saying use it for good. I was a kid back then.
So in this case, what would be like a good example of how you could take this lesson of asking a question that seeds a suggestion that in that case was, oh, he's pissing me off, but in real life, let's say you want to help somebody.
Well, just get the embedded command that you want to input when you're in a conversation with someone, build rapport with them, and you can say what Freddie Jacquin said to me once, which is a great line. He said, I've got a feeling you won't have a problem with that anymore. When I was getting the sleep paralysis. Right. He was just saying, you won't have a problem with that anymore. And I realized later what he had done. So it's,
beautiful. So you can just say stuff with intention, congruently, to get your message across.
Engage them.
And then that becomes anchored to the context a lot of the time. So there you go. Have some fun with it. Leave us a comment under this video if you want to tell any of your own stories about using this technique. And we'll see you in the next video. Before we let you go, make sure you click that subscribe button. Ring the bell so you'll always be, that was a loud one, so you'll always be notified of our videos. We'll put some resources in the description under this video for you. And thanks again, and
good night.